So this is card number 2 in my Halloween card making series. Love the cute little owl and the happy Halloween. Go ahead and widen our shot so we can get started today. So the pattern paper that I'm using comes from this really cute Bo Bunny apple cider collection stack. Very fun. If you get a chance to pick this one up, definitely worth the while. Very great fall prints in here, which I thought would also be fun for a fallish Halloween looking card. So I'm also going to be using this Die Cuts with a View adhesive stack. I'm just going to pull the green out of here if you want to know where my paper comes for that. And the stamp set that I'm using today is by Hampton Art, and I'm using this fun little owl stamp and the Happy Halloween. And unfortunately this stamp set does not have a label or a title on it, so I guess you'll have to go by the picture just by looking up Hampton Art, but I did pick mine up at Ben Franklin. And then next I'm also going to be using one piece of this specialty stamping paper, which is made by Ink Essentials or Ranger. Basically it's a Ranger product. And as I go along with my card today, I'll just be listing my measurements down below on the screen so that I don't have to remember them as I'm doing my craft here. So to start out with, I have my card base, which I've already folded. My first 2 layers, I have this really fun pumpkin print. Let's go ahead and stick some ATG gun on the tape on the back. I'll line this up. And then the next layer that's going to go on here is another one from that Bo Bunny stack, this fun little plaid print. And then I grabbed a piece of the green from the Die Cuts with a View stack and went ahead and used my Martha Stewart Arch Lattice Punch. Keep in mind, if you are going to put a piece of paper on top of something that you punched, you want it to be the size of the piece that you want to add the border onto, and then you want to add a ½ inch per side that you're going to punch. So for example, the width on this one is 2 inches, and when I cut the green paper, I cut it at 3 inches so that there would be room for my border. So just test your border and see for sure, but this one happens to need a ½ inch per side to make this fit. So we'll go ahead and stick this together. There we go. And then this is just going to go right in the middle. Really love this pumpkin print paper. It's just so pretty. And fall. I love fall. It's my absolute favorite season. And it's not just because my birthday happens to fall in October, but, well, okay, maybe just a little bit. But I love when it starts to get a little bit cool outside and I can break out all my fun scented candles. Okay, so one more thing I want to do before we attach this to our card base is add some ribbon. As you can see, I did that on this one. So I'm going to grab some brown. And this is just some satin ribbon. It's 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to grab some Scotch tape to adhere this. And just right down the center. Actually, I might go just a hair up. Add some tape. Tape is the best way to adhere the ribbon, I believe. Even if you use ATG gun to stick it down on the front, which I'm not going to do because I want to tie a bow, but your ATG gun just slides over that tape so much easier if you put tape down. And then I have another piece, and this is a little bit long, so hopefully I'm not too wasteful, but I wanted to be able to tie a bow with a tail. So it's a hair long, but I'll just put whatever's left over in my scrap pile. And here we go. Tying a bow on camera may not be a good idea, but we're going to go for it. And just position it until I like it. I want it to be kind of big and loopy. There we go. And we'll trim our tails down. And then as a fun embellishment, I thought I would pull out my EC Shape Studio. And this is what it looks like. And when you buy it at the store, it comes inside this fun little paper. In fact, this one was picked up at Ben Franklin. So this is what it looks like. And it's going to make this fun little button that's in the middle here. I don't know if I should call it a button or it's just an epoxy shape. And what's great about this is you can make your epoxy sticker match the pattern paper that you're already using. So what I'm going to be using today is the little clear bubble caps, and these are size 14. This is what they look like when you're at the store. These come in lots of different sizes, but I felt this is the most usable size for me. So what you do is you grab the pattern paper that you want to match your project, and we're just going to slide that in just like this. When you've got what you want, then you'll take one of those little bubble caps. So let me grab one. Stick it right on top. Oops, are we in? And after you've pressed that in, oops, my paper moved. Let me slide it back to where I wanted it. There we go. And then once that's in, there's a little insert piece that goes on top. We close the cap, punch firmly, open it. Oh, it didn't stick. Hang on. Oh, I didn't push it down far enough. When you push it, there should see a little bit of a gap in there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little bit of an indentation. I thought it didn't go in right, but then we'll put our little piece back in, give it a push and do it again. There we go. And then our little bubble cap should punch out. Very cute. And we'll set this to the side, and we'll go ahead and attach this onto our bow. And to do that, I'm just going to grab some quick dry. This works great on ribbon. With ribbon and paper. I'm going to be generous with the glue. Go ahead and set that on top. A little bit of pressure. I just want it to start to stick. It's going to have to dry for probably about 30 seconds more after I let go, but at least that'll get it started. There we go. And we'll set this to the side for just 1 second and go ahead and talk about our main image. So this is what the main image looks like, and I went ahead and stamped this onto my stamping paper with this Memento Rich Cocoa ink. I really wanted to have a brown theme rather than a black, but you could certainly use black if you wanted to. So I stamped my image onto my paper, and then I went ahead and stamped it again onto that same plaid paper that I just used. You can kind of see the ink here where I'd already stamped. And paper pieced out the pieces that I wanted to have the plaid. So I went ahead and did the pumpkin and the hat that's on the owl. So I paper pieced these two pieces, and then I have one more little piece here that I'm going to go ahead and stick on real quick. And again, I'm going to just use that quick dry. Just stick that on. You could use the quick dry, or you could use a glue pen, whatever you want to use. Okay, and now that that's down, I'll explain really quickly what I used to color my image. I went ahead and used the Tim Holtz Distress markers. So for example, this is the Scattered Straw, which is what I used on the owl's belly. And next I used the Spiced Marmalade, which I used on the pumpkin and the beak, the little owl's beak. And then I used the Mustard Seed, which I used on the star. And then I alternated the Vintage Photo and the Walnut Stain. One's a light brown and one's a medium brown, and I alternated the wings. If you look closely, you'll be able to see that there's kind of a stripe on it. And that's how I did the wings. And I also used the Walnut Stain on the little rings below the eyes. And then for the leaf and the little band on the hat, I went ahead and used this peeled paint. Oh, I also used the vintage, I'm sorry, the, which one was it? I used the Walnut Stain on the little stems for the pumpkin as well. I always think it's funny when people do those green, because usually when you go get your pumpkin, it's been cut and they're not green anymore. So anyhow, so that's what I used. So let's go ahead and stick this puppy together. Grab some ATG gun tape here. And I'll show you how I did the sentiment. So this card's coming together fairly quickly because I did a lot of it ahead of time, but wanted you to know what I did. So we'll go ahead and center this on our little green mat here. And then once we've done that, our little Happy Halloween. Gone ahead and just stuck this onto a little Fisker stamp punch. If you've never used one of these before, I highly recommend them because they allow you to The sponges help you move your stamp around, and it's really great for centering something. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with some Memento Rich Cocoa ink. And then I went ahead and took a scattered straw Tim Holtz marker and just took my stamping paper and just inked it up with that so that everything would match. I'm going to go ahead and center this, stamp it, and then I'm going to grab my Stampin' Up! Modern Label Punch and use that to cut out my sentiment here. And then to help this stand out a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and ink around it. And I'm just going to use this little finger dabber to do that. This one happens to be a Stampin' Up! Product, but you can certainly use whichever you can find. I've actually seen them recently at Michael's. They have a little package of finger dabbers that you can pick up there. I'm going to just go around this. And you may not be able to see on camera, but I also inked around the other layers, including my card base with brown. So I went ahead and went around the green layer, the pumpkin layer, the plaid layer, inking around, and the card base. And now I'm also going to ink around the green part of the mat. I've already inked around the white mat just to save time. Not a whole lot to it, so you don't need to see me ink every piece. I love how inking around stuff just kind of pulls everything in together and makes it look a little bit more antique-y. Okay, so now that we've done that, I hope I grab stays on. It doesn't really matter which brown you use. Okay, and then this is just going to go on an angle right here. So I'll just grab my ATG gun tape and stick this on. And then this is ready to go onto the layers I'm going to put together, and I'm going to grab some little foam dots to do that. To help pop this image up. This morning I opened the front door, was getting ready to take my youngest 2 kids to school, and we have one kitty, and her name is, well, we have 3 kitties, but we have one that is, she loves to go outside. Her name's Dusty, and whenever I open the door, she just like darts right out the front door. And this morning was so funny. I opened the door, and she like, it's like she almost said out loud, "This is crazy, it's so cold," and she like backed up and went back inside the house. It just made me laugh so much that she would do that. And then she went and found a sunny spot in the living room and has been laying there for about a half an hour. This cracks me up. Anyhow, so then we can attach this layer onto our card base. And you may have seen my first Halloween video that I did before this one, and I totally forgot to put my layer onto my card base. I can only plead insanity. Mother of 5 with a job, busy. I don't know what else to say. Anyhow, so don't forget to add your layer onto your card base. And when you're done, you'll have this very cute and fall-like Halloween card. So we'll scoot this one up a little bit closer and zoom in so you can get a good close look. And I always bump the camera. But let's tighten in. Anyhow, have a wonderful day, and I hope you'll try out this fun fall Happy Halloween card, or Halloween, Happy Halloween. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks. Bye.